Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Good, Jennifer. How's it going there today?
It's awesome. The weather is just beautiful.
Yeah, and as you can see, I'm stuck inside of this office. So.
This is actually a window behind me. It's really cool that the virtual background just kind of works over the blinds.
Yeah, that is cool. I see that. I got to get me a virtual background. I have the plain white walls. I never know when I might want to get mad and take off, and so I don't want to pack anything up.
It might work. You never know.
That's right. So, what I wanted to do a little bit today is kind of reverse. You do such a great job and such a service for the group that you interview all these people and get publicity. So, I thought I would turn the tables and interview you and let you show your expertise.
Awesome. I love to talk about real estate.
I know you do. So, if you're ready, I'm just going to fire away a few questions and you can
Fire
go.
away.
We're going to see how you act on the hot seat. All right. All right. So first, what type of clients do you service the most?
Once upon a time I did a lot of first-time home buyers, I guess, in my earlier career, but now I feel like I do more upsizers, a lot of investors, still some first-time home buyers, people downsizing, but I think mostly the big thing for me right now is the upsizers. People that I sold houses to back in 2007 through 2011 have a ton of equity, so it's a really good opportunity for them to cash out that equity and take full advantage of these awesome interest rates.
Awesome. You're not kidding there. And a lot of people are doing it, as you know.
Yeah.
So that's what you're really doing most. Let's focus on the upsize.
Okay.
Um, what are some of the concerns that they have when they go into the process when they're looking to upsize?
So many concerns. How long is it going to take to sell? They don't know where to start. How much can I get for my house? A lot of people aren't even aware of how much equity they have. So here lately, I've just been, just trying to get the message out there. Do you know how much your house is worth? And people are like, oh, I had no idea. But yeah, I mean, they don't know where to start. I think if you're just considering it, the first step is just to talk to a realtor and start, mapping out the process and establish a time frame.
Okay, perfect. Um, so other than the equity, what's usually like their main question when they're going into it?
They want to know, yeah, they want to know how the time and the financing works to go from here to there. So they want to know, how does the cash out on their current home play a factor in how they're going to be moving into their new home. So it usually transposes mostly into a financing question. So hopefully you can help them out with that.
That's where I come in.
That's where you come in.
Yeah. So, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, there's moving parts, and right now with the market, you put a sign in the yard for the most part. If it's priced right, it's going to sell. So it's fairly easy to do simultaneous closings now. But when the market does shift, obviously it'll be a lot more planning involved, and making sure you have your house already on the market while you're looking for a house. But right now we don't have to worry about that, do we? Especially with you selling, they're going to be gone in 30 seconds.
Multiple offers are still the big thing right now. So we got some tips and tricks on how to get those offers accepted.
That's awesome. Um, what would you say is a common myth that some of your clients have about the buying?
A couple different things. First of all, I met with a client last week that thought they had a whole big laundry list of things they needed to do on this 6-month plan to list their house. And I thought, my goodness, if you do all that stuff in 6 months, the market could be totally different and you could lose tens of thousands of equity. So I think that's a myth. Just waiting until waiting until blank is the common myth. Waiting until spring, waiting until the kids go back to school, waiting until whatever. I think, we can take a snapshot of what the market is today, but now is better than later. You know what I mean? Like when they start to wait for blank, I think that's, kind of a common myth that people have about selling. It's probably a common myth that people have about buying.
Yeah, I think that's applies to a lot of things. That's the old adage: if you're waiting for the perfect time, it's never going to happen. If you're waiting for the perfect time to have a kid, you would not have a kid. I'm sure, right? So, that's all facets of life there.
Totally true.
So, I know right now we just discussed, right now you put a house on the market, it's selling pretty quickly. So that's kind of the timing. But in a normal market, how do you determine how long the process will take? when you're listening to
Well,
someone else?
and that's an interesting question because not all houses sell super fast. There's different price ranges that sell faster than others, and different kinds of houses that tend to sell faster. There may be certain floor plans that take longer to sell. I did a video about this just last week. Why do some houses take longer to sell than others? I mean, a lot of people want a turnkey home. When we go and assess the value of their home, we look at the days on the market that are on average for their neighborhood, for their similar, style and quality and amenities and everything like that. And that's how we determine about how long it's going to take to sell. There's concrete facts when you look at the comps that either say, it's going to take 3 to 5 days to get several offers, or, in a different price range or a different type or style of home, you may be looking at the 30 to 90 days on the market.
Interesting. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and you kind of mentioned previously, I guess it varies per home, but as far as multiple offers, are you still seeing a lot of multiple offers, or is it just hit and
Yeah,
miss?
I mean, in a certain price range, for sure, under 200, mostly under 300. But if you've got a nice turnkey home, I mean, it doesn't need a whole lot of updates and cosmetics. And it's in a desirable neighborhood. Some people want to be out in the middle of nowhere, but that's not everybody's cup of tea.
Sure.
Multiple offers are going to happen on the houses that most people want. So if you fit inside this box, and that's what you
Yeah.
want, um, for sure, multiple offers in a nice area in a good price range with a turnkey home.
Yeah. As long as you got it priced right. Correct.
True.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what kind of advice do you kind of give people as far as the actual closing day, what to prepare for?
Well, it's going to be stressful no matter what, but if you've done all your homework and you have all your ducks in a row, hopefully you've talked to a really good lender who has your financing already pre-approved up front and fully underwritten. So closing day shouldn't really be a surprise, but if you're selling on the day that you're also buying, there's always going to be the unforeseen as far as the timing.
Right.
I mean, it could be just within a couple hours. The ideal situation is you're going to close on your house you're selling in the morning and close on the house that you're buying in the afternoon. Money
Right.
gets wired from house A to house B, and everything, kind of falls into place like that. Things that are beyond our control are delays that we can't control, either buyer delays, seller delays, lender delays, attorney delays. If you have the full blown pre approval, you're less likely to have a delay. But we always suggest to have a backup plan. Obviously you have to go with the flow and be prepared for the unexpected. If you're already prepared for the unexpected, then when it falls into place perfectly, you're just delighted.
Yeah.
So, but a backup plan would be something like, if the timing doesn't line up, you have a relative to stay with. Or if the timing doesn't line up, you're prepared to put your belongings in storage for a day or two and, maybe even get a hotel. It's not the end of the world, and the closing will happen. There's just sometimes delays that we can't control. Say, for example, you sell your house in the morning and then the one that you're buying just didn't go on record that day. You know
Right.
what I mean? You
Right.
just don't own that house yet. So unless we put into place a possession before closing, you may be closing the next day. So possibly staying in a hotel. And if you already plan for it, then it's not the end of the world. It's not going to be super stressful. What is super stressful is being in the 11th hour and just finding out that you're going to have to get a hotel. So when I do my consultations, I literally tell them up front, have a backup plan, get a full blown pre-approval, expect the unexpected, and that way when everything falls into place perfectly, you're just overwhelmed with delight.
Yeah, that's true. I just had one yesterday. I spoke to them and said scenarios, of what that particular customer is going through. I said, listen, I will never tell you getting a mortgage is the most fun thing you're ever going to do in your life. But here's the obstacles that you have that aren't normal. So I want you to be prepared up front. Right. So
Exactly.
here's what we've got to overcome. And if we do those things, we'll be fine. But it's not going to be fun regardless. Other than you get to deal with me, obviously. But other than that, it's not fun.
The day
But
before
you're
closing, I tell people, you know what? This next part is kind of like pulling off a band-aid. And then it's going to be over with after that. It's not terrible, but it's not fun. Moving sucks,
that's
first of
yes.
all. But,
Yes,
Jeff, there's things that you can do as a lender to prepare people, and there's things that I can do as a realtor.
absolutely.
When we plan and we prepare our clients for the unexpected, I think we have the best possible outcome.
I think so. And that's why most of our deals go smoothly, right?
Yay. So what do you think you can do as far as a lender to be diligent on planning for the unexpected on that closing day?
Yeah. And the main thing is you've already touched on, get everything up front. Even if they didn't get there's a difference between pre-qualification and pre-approved. So even if
Right.
they're not only pre-approved before they go into contract, if they will be diligent getting me all the documentation, because I, the initial thing, I tell you what I need, but until I
Hmm.
get your information, I don't know if there's other things, right? I've
Right.
had some just common examples. You go over the credit report, yeah, that's accurate. Anything else? No, we're good. You get a paycheck, and they say, oh, a 401k loan, $100 a paycheck, four
Right.
times. That's $400 a month that we didn't budget for, right?
Yeah.
So getting that stuff in,
I think that's the most common issue with the delays is asking for paperwork at the last minute. So though getting that fully underwritten pre-approval is such a big deal, especially when you're buying and selling in the same day.
yeah, because truly, if you do that, usually the only other thing that will be required is an updated bank statement, because the due diligence and earnest
Right.
money, clear. So we got to get documentation that has clear to give you credit. So other than that, it's a much easier process if they'll send everything up front.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you have questions about buying and selling, or especially buying and selling all in one day, we can make it a lot more stress-free if you'll just ask the right questions up front so we can prepare you for the unexpected.
Very true.
All right, Jeff, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.